Maxwell Pereira, former Joint Commissioner of Police, Delhi, says don't jump the gun. Kiran Bedi is one of India's top cops. And my first question this evening is to V.K. Anand, lawyer for Ram Singh, the late Ram Singh. Mr. Anand, is it possible that your client, Ram Singh, committed suicide? You know, suicides happen. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Suicides do happen, don't they? He could have been under stress.
I make it very much clear that as regards the suicide is concerned, I doubt he has committed any suicide because there were no circumstances which ultimately suggest he can go to that extent to commit suicide, because for the last 1 month I am observing him. For the last 1 month about 50 witnesses has been examined in this case. He has no time. He ultimately very much satisfied with the trial going on. He was very much with the judge itself. He was very much just. Everybody was happy. Everybody was satisfied with the trial is going on as regard trial is concerned. But I do not know under what circumstances this ultimately thing has happened. I am unable to understand because he has never brought all these things. Whether he was very much in a mental stress or there was any pressure.
Was he under mental stress? Was he under mental stress? Because you know, Ram Singh, please understand this. Your client Ram Singh was aware that the verdict will not be in his favor, and hence he had ample reasons to end his life.
No, I just bring into kind notice. For the last 1 month, if you go through the entire evidence, I cannot disclose all these things because this is a court proceeding are concerned on, but I have already substantially damaged the case of the prosecution itself, it is within their knowledge that the case is going on in their favor itself. So I do not know, I cannot say whether it due to this case, ultimately he was of the opinion that case will not go in his favor.
Kiran Bedi, do you think he killed himself, or do you think there's something else to the story?
I would like to comment on what the lawyer just now said with great respect, saying that I've considerably damaged the case. Do lawyers damage the case or do they promote justice? I think this is very interesting. That's exactly the problem. Is the job of the lawyers or the legal defense to damage cases, or is it to become part of the justice system? I think that's the real issue. Here is this man who's been openly saying, Ram Singh had been regularly saying, and his team, that they've committed the crime and they may be hung. He's again, it's been reported in the papers again today, somewhere, that he told his parents and his father, and the mother is saying, ek galti ho gayi, sarkar ko maaf kar dena chahiye. And even the father is saying, galti ho gayi, usne mana. The point is, why should we be not as instruments of justice? Why can't this lawyer tell this man, get this guilt off your chest, go and tell the judge, galti hui, सजा जो बनती हमें दो और जेल में रिफॉर्म के लिए भेज दो, हम सुधरना चाहते हैं.
Look at the way we would have promoted justice. Kiran Bedi, may I ask you, but 1 second, Maxwell Pereira, before I come to you, I want to settle this part. V.K. Anand, I know your responsibility as a lawyer, sir.
I have to go away.
1 minute. Kiran, just listen to his reply and then you can go away. You have your responsibility as a lawyer. Kiran Bedi is asking you today that you have no business saying I damaged the case. Answer Kiran Bedi. What do you mean by saying I damaged the case?
As a defense counsel, I have my duty, I have my professional duty.
Professional duty?
Ultimately create a doubt in the minds of the court itself that their prosecution is not coming forward with all fairness itself. That's why I use this word.
No, Mr. Kiran Bedi, Kiran Bedi, do you accept that? Kiran Bedi, do you accept this? He's saying the prosecution is not doing his job. I have my professional responsibility as a lawyer. This is not really what we are talking about. We are talking about whether it's murder or suicide. I'd like you to respond back. You want to respond back to... He says, I'm doing my duty. Kiran Bedi.
Sure, he's doing his duty in damaging justice. Perfect. He's doing his duty in damaging justice. And if he thinks damaging justice is his duty, perfect. If that's his training, I can't help it. And I could talk it probably as an individual. I'm not talking it as a class. But it's only referring to what he said.
But that's not the issue tonight, Kiran Bedi. The issue tonight is, and I put that question, Kiran Bedi, stay a couple of minutes. The issue tonight which I put now to Maxwell Pereira is...
I can't say.
No, the issue is it murder or suicide, Kiran Bedi?
I can't say I have a commitment.
No, is it murder or suicide? What is your hunch before I let you go? Murder or suicide?
Or no. No, or no. The probe will tell. I would like Maxwell Pereira. I won't jump the gun. I think let the probe decide.
Why?
It could be either way.
Why do you call it jump the gun? Okay, I'll let you go, Kiran Bedi. I know you have to go. Maxwell Pereira, I don't understand this business of jumping the gun. This is an unbelievable case at face value. And yet, policemen are quick to blame the media, saying don't jump the gun. Why?
You have said it, Arnab. You yourself have said it. It is an unbelievable case. It is an unbelievable circumstances. So why don't we believe what what is right or what the facts will tell after the inquiry? The facts will tell after the post-mortem report comes out. Don't you think that we are jumping the gun?
I don't think so.
If we are waiting for the same,
I don't think so.
The post-mortem report.
I don't think so. With all respect.
Well, you are entitled to your opinion. Well, I don't agree with you, and I definitely will stand by my this thing. I would want the post-mortem report to be public first, and the experts, the forensic experts, to really tell, whether it's a suicide or a murder.
Well, I think,
not for you and me to speculate.
I think so, sir. I think there are past cases, Mr. Maxwell Pereira, which you are forgetting, where things have happened in prisons, which are all the things which happened in prisons are not by the rule book. In this particular case, Aryaman Sundaram, let me get you in. Maxwell Pereira puts the ball back in our court. He says, don't jump the gun. First of all, Aryaman Sundaram, do you believe this is jumping the gun? The circumstances in which this man has so-called killed himself, do you think it's jumping the gun or a legitimate question, considering that the Nirbhaya case, of which he is the ringleader, was talked about by the entire nation for almost a couple of weeks, and even till now?
Arnab, I find it ironical. I find it most ironical. The entire country, including the media, including everybody else, was baying for this man's blood till yesterday. Today, everybody is saying, why, what happened to him, and we are now baying for the blood of those who we feel took his blood. This is really a very ironical situation.
No, Aryaman Sundaram, not out of sympathy. Not out of sympathy, but he had to face the law.
No,
one second.
It really brings home. Exactly. Let me just finish, Arnab. It brings home one very important fact, that in India, and I must admit it's not only India but in other countries also, custodial safety is always a great concern.
Truly.
It is a fact that there are custodial deaths, and when we talk about custodial deaths, it's usually the establishment being responsible for the death. But there are also innumerable acts of violence and deaths amongst inmates in the jail. If you take this scenario, any one of three things could have happened. A, it could have been a suicide. B, it could have been a custodial death, either implicitly done or explicitly so. Implicit in shutting an eye to the fact that a man was being killed, that an under trial was being killed, and looking away from it. And third, it could be a murder committed by other inmates of that jail. Now, any one of these three are possible, which is what the investigation is on for.
No, but why? One second. Mr. Sundaram, I must intervene to only ask you one question. You say today, till yesterday, the media was baying for that man's blood. Firstly, the media was baying for justice, Mr. Sundaram. And you say then the man is dead, now you are asking how he died. The question is this, and you know it as well as I do, Mr. Aryaman Sundaram. There is a world of difference between a person facing justice and going to the gallows and killing himself. The system is not aimed at allowing a man to kill himself. Purnima Advani has some valid questions in this case.
Let me answer you.
No, let Purnima Advani come in. I'm coming back.
And let me answer you straight away.
Go ahead.
Arnab, let me answer you.
Sure.
You have placed a question which I want to answer right away. And that answer is this, that even in custody, it has been recognized by the Supreme Court since Batra's case and even before that,
that even in custody you have your right under Article 21 and you have your right of safety. That's what I was trying to
Precisely.
highlight. That this case has brought out the fact that custodial safety in India is at a very low level.
I
want to say it doesn't matter, let somebody go to jail.
Yeah,
and we're reluctant to give them bail.
I'm going to put my question, sir.
That custody in India has intricate problems attached to it, and custodial
Yes, but I want to be pointed tonight. Yes, I want to be pointed tonight. Aryaman Sundaram,
I agree with.
Just
which
as
I
you
agree.
Aryaman
No man could be murdered like this, even if he was under trial. In fact, I'm even against a death sentence. And definitely against a murder like this.
Limited point tonight. Purnima Advani, before I come to you, MN Singh, welcome into the debate. I don't want to make this a journalist versus policeman versus lawyer versus human rights activist debate. It's a straightforward debate, which I now go to Purnima Advani. I want to put one question to you, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching this tonight. I just want you to visualize a 12 into 12 foot room. You are in a 12 into 12 foot room. There are 3 people who are sleeping next to you. It doesn't take a forensic expert to say the person sitting who is sleeping next to you is not more than 2 feet away from you. How can you take a bucket, jump 3 feet, successfully tie a makeshift rope, not even a real rope, tie it around your neck and successfully die and not manage to wake up anyone? It's just completely, I'm sorry to say this and sound presumptuous, ridiculous. Purnima Advani, do you buy this?
Arnav, I find it very difficult to buy this, and most particularly you have brought out 2 very crucial facts which I must confess I was not aware of. One, that the Delhi police had warned the Tihar jail authorities that there is a threat to this man. Number 2, that he has 1 functional arm. Now after that, it seems ridiculous. How is he going to tie a noose with his bedsheet or his cloth or whatever is available over there? But how does he tie that noose? It's extremely difficult to understand that. Moreover, Tihar jail houses 12,500 inmates. 12,500. It's one of the most crowded jails. And in this 12 by 12, there are 4 persons who are staying there. Now, if there is a bucket and you once slip off the bucket, there is noise and anybody would get up. Even in a house, we would wake up. So, are we going to believe that he has jumped on a bucket, put up that
the noose around his neck,
around the ventilator, which is the noose around his neck? The ventilator is 9 feet high. He has not once slipped. He has done a ballet walk so excellently and so softly that nobody could ever hear anything. I mean, that's one. Number 2, what happened to the watchmen around? Were they guilty of some culpable act, or were they negligent? It was a crime of commission or of omission.
Good point.
Where were they? Why were they not knowing what has happened? The next point, why was the Delhi police not informed about what has happened for a period of 2 hours?
2 hours.
This has
2
not
hours.
happened on the streets.
Precisely.
And somebody is just lying there. Why has it happened that from within the jail, where the prison authorities are there, they are all under the Home Ministry? Why does it take as much time from Delhi to Delhi, from prison to the police headquarters?
Maxwell Pereira.
Information after 2 hours.
Maxwell Pereira, 1 minute. Purnima Advani, the questions will continue, but as you listen to the questions, Maxwell Pereira, I want to consider this, that I want to get MN Singh. Maxwell Pereira will respond. TSR Subramaniam, welcome, opening this up. Question is today, I'm sorry to say this, and Aryaman Sundaram will say you're baying for someone's blood. No, we are not. The fact is, people of this country feel cheated, feel completely cheated, that due to the complete negligence of the authorities in Tihar jail. 1 minute, this man did not face the law. You don't go to Tihar jail, Aryaman Sundaram, I can see the cynicism out there in your expression, but you don't go to Tihar jail to commit suicide. You go to Tihar jail to be locked up there till you face the law. MN Singh, too many questions. You have answers for any of them?
Yes, Arnab, there are enough grounds to suspect a foul play. I would accept that. But then we are not here to pass a judgment. I think the whole thing has to be gone into investigated. And there is a process of investigation which is already on. Now, unless the postmortem report and the forensic science reports are available to us, you cannot come to a conclusion whether it is a suicide or a homicide.
We're told it's a suicide.
A custodial torture.
We're told it's a suicide.
No, at the moment it has been projected as a suicide because the man is hanging by some window or something like that.
But that's precisely what we've been told.
It has to be investigated.
Sure, it has to be
through a forensic report and the post-mortem report to come to a conclusion. It's too premature for any one of us to come to a conclusion. But yes, I do agree with you that there are enough grounds to suspect a foul play, and it needs to be thoroughly investigated from that angle also.
I don't want to get into broader issues. I want to be more and more specific. TSR Subramaniam. Let's get it in, and I think the lawyer for late Ram Singh will also want to say something here.
But murders do take place inside the prison. Suicides also take place. Custodial deaths also take place, and anything is possible at this moment.
Well, then
we cannot say with definitely what exactly has happened.
We are told.
Let us wait and have the report.
We are told it's a suicide. TSR Subramaniam. You know, a person who has, all the accused in the past have been attacked by other inmates. I don't know what steps are taken to ensure their safety. Why would you put a person like that in a 12x12 cell with 3 other people? I mean, it's completely absurd. It lacks common sense.
That is the point.
I know.
There's no common sense.
But all the Indian prisons are overcrowded.